You're live.
Hi everyone, how you doing? Sorry we're a couple of minutes late. I came home to film. Lovely Linda's in the shop looking after the shop for me. Came home to film and I've got water pouring through my kitchen ceiling. So it was all a bit mad panic stations and just all sorts. So sorry I'm a few moments late. How are you all? Hopefully everyone's okay and you've all had a nice weekend. Everyone had a nice weekend? Hope so. It was beautiful, wasn't it? Really, really lovely couple of days. So yeah, it was quite nice. But lots of work to do, but managed to get a couple of big long walks in as well, which was really nice in the sunshine. So who's coming online, groups? Anybody there?
We got Sean, we got Linda so far.
Hi everyone. Lovely. Cool. Sorry, sipping my coffee. Oh yeah, typical. Literally walked in and I was like, Drew was like, Mum, there's water in the kitchen. There's a big puddle right under the kitchen light. We've got like a spotlighty thing. It's all water, big puddle of it. So it was a mad quick, gosh, ring someone, let's get it sorted. So typical. Gonna just be one of those weeks, isn't it? Just got a feeling about it. So what we're gonna do today, haven't really got any news to tell you. Oh, I have actually, I lie. We've had we've bought in some pre-made face masks from a company. So we've got those in the shop now. So if anybody's looking for pre-made ones, I'll get those onto the website later on this afternoon. But we have got some in the shop now. We've had quite a lot of people come in the shop asking for them. So we managed to find a company that's doing some pre-made ones. So we've got those. Any other news? I can't think what other news we've got. Is there anything, groups? I think so. No. Anyway, we're going to have a little go at making some luggage tags today. Okay, I know we can't all go on holiday, but I think you could use these for lots of different things. I was making some up last night and sorting out the pattern because there's hundreds and hundreds of them online. Different types of shapes and sizes and stuff, and different ways of doing it. And I didn't particularly like any of the ways of doing it, so as per usual with me, made it up myself. So I think that, I mean, they would be fab. You would just then obviously slide your name and address in under the vinyl. Oh, I don't want to do that on that one because that's my pattern piece. But you would obviously, piece of card with your name and address, you'd slide on underneath there. Okay. They use hardly any fabric at all as well. I mean, I'm going to use this piece here to make a whole one, and it's little scrappy bits of fabric. You could make them really patchworky. You could do like mile a minute and make them really quilty as well. It doesn't have to even be a whole piece of fabric. It could be completely scrappy. I've made a little strap to go through it, but you could use ribbon. Could absolutely use ribbon on them instead. I've done it with a buttonhole, but if you've got like an eyeleter, you could put an eyelet through there instead if you wanted to, or you could actually sew it in, which I'll show you in a moment. You could actually sew it in so that it's actually attached in the seam. But I quite liked the button. I don't play very often with buttonholes, so I thought I'll use the buttonholer and do that. You could absolutely, I think you could use these for like gifts as well at Christmas, because we were talking about Christmas last week. You could put, if you're buying somebody a voucher or something, rather than, if you're buying for like a teenager and they want a voucher, you could actually make one of these and put the voucher in there, and then they've got like a little luggage tag as well. Doesn't have to be for going on holiday abroad. You could put them onto your kids, like grandkids and stuff, their rucksacks for school. You could make them their own with their name and all on it, so they know that that's their lunch bag or rucksack. So lots and lots of uses. I have got a template which I've drawn out, which I'll put onto the website that you can purchase, but they are very, very simple. And I think I was saying a minute ago, you could actually do them in different shapes as well. Why not cut out like a heart or something and have a heart-shaped one or a circular one or anything really, okay? But we're going to stick with like traditional tag shape today. Got a scrap of fabric and I've interfaced the back. As you can see, I've Frankensteined the interface in because it doesn't really matter. So you can, again, use up scraps of interfacing and stuff. Okay. I'm going to fold this over like this because we're going to cut two of like the back piece. So if I fold that over like that, so I'm going to cut double and put my pattern piece on. Let's just move over just a weeny bit like that. Excuse my nails, I've just realised how terribly chipped they are. I meant to take it off last night and didn't get round to doing it. So we're going to round like that, and we're going to cut it out. You could absolutely cut this out with scissors, you could draw around it, cut it out with scissors, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to do it with my ruler and my rotary cutter. Okay, so who's there just while I'm cutting around this piece?
Linda Tomlinson said PE bags.
Yeah, it'd be nice on a PE bag or something as well. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, they don't just have to be for travel, do they? So, okay, I'll just go round. Anybody else there? Anybody else coming online today?
Nikki says hi.
Hi, Nikki.
Wendy says hi as well.
Hi, Wendy. There we go.
Linda had the same idea with the Christmas.
Pardon?
Linda had the same idea with the Christmas tags.
Yeah, I think that'd be really nice. You know, if you're given a voucher, or even if you're giving money or something, you could put it in a little envelope and slide it in there, and it's just like an extra little present then. You know, it's a little bit of something homemade, isn't it? Okay, so here we go. Just all the way round like this. Okay, like that. Okay, so now I've got two pieces that have been interfaced. Okay, exactly the same, like that. I'm going to give this one to my mum because it's got tortoises on it. Okay, like that. You also need a pocket piece. Okay, so again, you only need one of these. So I'm going to see if I don't think I can get this. Can't get it out of that. That's a shame. I was hoping I could get it out of that piece there, but I'm not going to be able to because of the salvage. So, excuse me, ladies. I'm going to grab a little bit more fabric. I should have cut this a weeny bit bigger. If I'd have cut it bigger, it would have worked. So, let me just grab some more fabric. Okay, and I'm going to interface the back of this. So, I need just cut out a piece about that sort of size, like that. There we go, because it's just a weeny bit bigger. And then we're going to interface the back of this. Okay, and I find it easier to interface it before I cut it out, because it's, you know, you don't get quite so much mess or wastage with it.
Claire asks, can we have a 1 o'clock tutorial on how to make a bum bag?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. Never made one, but I can certainly look into that. Yeah, I will have a little look at that for you. Might not be won't be this week and won't be next week, but I will see if I can have a look for the following week. Okay.
Sandra says, can I adopt you for a while?
Can I have what?
Adopt you for
Can you adopt me? Why? Who was that, Sarah?
Sandra.
Sandra. Oh, why? What have I done? You wouldn't want to adopt me, love. I'm far too much hard work. Ask my husband. Okay, so again, I'm just going to cut out this pattern piece like that there. And like I said, you could absolutely just draw around these. Line that up. Line that up again. There we go. You could draw around this and cut out with scissors, but it's fine. I'm just being a bit cheaty. Just being careful not to cut the pattern piece.
She said because you're making that for your mum.
Oh! Oh, my mother is tortoise obsessed. She really is. She loves her tortoises and turtles and all sorts. There we go. Okay, so you can see as well that on the pattern piece, I've cut out the centre of the template. Okay, we just want to draw around that. So let me just grab a Frixion pen, and we're just going to draw around that square. Okay, because this is going to be for your vinyl. Okay, now we do sell the clear vinyl in the shop. It's mega cheap, and you get loads of it because it's extra wide. But if you have something that you could use is, you know, when you get like you buy a new duvet cover and they come in those like plastic bags, you know, like the thick vinyl stuff. Have a look at what's around the house as well, because I mean, I will quite happily sell you vinyl, obviously, but you could actually use, you know, stuff like that, you know, old packaging and stuff around the house. So have a little look at that as well, see what you've got, because you only need such small amounts.
Tracy asked, is it lightweight interfacing?
I've used a medium weight, but actually that's because that's what I had in the house yesterday. Actually, I doubled it up on the main pieces because the lightweight was too soft by itself, just one layer. So actually, if you've got firm weight, I would use a firm weight. You need a little bit of stiffness to it. Okay, right. I've drawn round that square, or rectangle rather, and then you want to measure in 1/2 inch. So here, or another line. Okay, so I'm going to measure 1/2 inch from there, like that, and I'm going to do that all the way around, basically creating another small rectangle. Okay, like this, all the way around. There we go. Anybody else there? Anybody else got any questions while I'm doing this?
Thompson said with long straps, they can never be long enough. They are never long enough.
Long straps are never long enough. What, these ones? Yeah, so I would put that through and then you could push that through and it would like half hitch, wouldn't it, onto your bag. You could put a button or something on it if you wanted to. I suppose you could do a single strap and put a button on the back so you could button it up, or a cam snap or something. You know, how you put this through is kind of up to you really. Okay, so you can see now by drawing 1/2 inch all the way round, I've got a smaller rectangle here in the centre. So I'm just going to fold this in half so that I can snip into that middle rectangle, okay, so that I can cut it out. I'm cutting out the small bit in the centre to start with. All right, so I'm just going to go get my scissors in. I'm just going to cut round, and again you could do this with a rotary cutter if you want to, but I actually find it easy with scissors. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll get my fingers out the way. All the way down this one, like that, and round again. I do love these fabrics. This was this one was the birds one. It's the Lewis and Irene Small Pets fabrics, and we've got the dogs and the cats and the tortoises, bunnies, birds. Dogs, cats, tortoises, bunnies, and birds. Is it? Is that the ones? I think so.
So there's one more, isn't it?
Yeah, dogs and cats, bunnies and guinea pigs, birds, tortoises. That's the 5. Yeah. Oh, I'm using the tortoise one. So yeah, so I just think they're really cute because they're a little pattern. They work really well for little things like this. You now want to, and I'm going to draw the line, but you now want to cut from the corner here to the corner there. So we're going to cut down like this, okay, and like that. I'm going to cut down into each of those 4 corners. So literally just snip it. Careful not to go too far, but we're basically making like a little window, a little envelope window. Okay, like that, all the way around. Okay, and you want to finger press these underneath. Okay, so I find it easier to turn it the other way and just do that and give them a finger press just to start with. We are going to iron them, but it's easier if you kind of get the line first. You're basically folding back on the line that you drew when you did that rectangle. Okay, please do excuse my terrible nails. I've got to redo them tonight, ready for her chanda tomorrow. So I am driving up to her chanda tomorrow. We've got a show at 2 o'clock. Jean Taylor show at 2 o'clock. Okay, so I've kind of finger pressed them back, and then I'm just going to give them a little press as well now. Okay, just to really make that nice and crisp. Like this. Okay. Any questions? Anybody there? What have you all been up to this weekend? Anything exciting? Anything nice?
Jenny just come on and said hi.
Hi, Jen. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it over that way as well and give it a really good solid press from that side too. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now you've got like a nice neat window and it's all tucked underneath like that. Right, so now we need a piece of vinyl. Now what have I done with the piece of vinyl? That's the joy of vinyl. It's it's transparent. What have I done with, there it is. I couldn't see it for looking. You can't see it very easy when you put it down on stuff. Okay, so I've got a piece of vinyl. Like you see, this was a tiny piece. well, I don't know, you probably can't see, tiny piece left over. I'd get probably 20 luggage tags out of that.
The light of the sun is reflecting on it.
It's a really annoying, groups.
You can kind of see it.
Okay, I've also got a little pattern piece for the vinyl, so we're going to, we can get it out of there like that. Can I get it out of that one? No, here we go. Let's get it out of there. Oh, it's really difficult to see, sorry guys. So I'm going to very carefully keep my fingers out the way. You could use a ruler, but actually it's quite difficult with the vinyl. It's a bit slippy, so go steady, okay? And I'm just going to cut out a piece of vinyl using the pattern piece, like that, okay? So, can't see it at all, I imagine, but you can, hopefully you can see that it's shiny, okay? This is going to sit behind this window, okay? So we're going to put that on like that, all right? Like that. Don't use pins with it, okay? Now you can just kind of go for it and stitch this, but it's very slippy and machines don't like it very much. So what I would suggest, what I use is my my Teflon foot, or my non-slip foot, I think it's called. Mine looks like that. Have a check in your manuals. You should be able, you should see some machine, not all machines, but some machines come with them with the non-slip foot. If you don't have one of these, you can put tissue paper over this, really, really thin, you know, like thin, cheap tissue paper over the top, stitch it, and then you can tear the tissue paper away, okay? I wouldn't use copy paper, it tears at the stitches too much, but a piece of tissue paper, but actually with a non-slip foot, works really, really well. We're now going to stitch round, all the way round, that opening, okay? We're going to top stitch, so we're going to top stitch about here, about an 16th of an inch, okay? So, over we go.
I've got a question. Can you put the stitch and tear in front of it rather than paper, and then just tear that out?
Yes, you could actually. Yeah, you could use a little bit of stitch and tear. Yeah, absolutely, Grace. Yeah, you could do that. Get you with the sewing tips.
Once you've done 120 of these, you can't learn something.
You learn something eventually from me. It's like osmosis in. Okay, but I'm going to use my my non-slip foot, and it works really, really well on this. Okay, go slow and steady though. Okay, because it is vinyl. It's not, you know, as easy as stitching normal fabric. So I'm going to just top stitch all the way around. Okay, there we go. So. Now, I tried doing this, the first one, originally, without putting the non-slip foot on, thinking, it's only little, it'll be fine. Yeah, it really wasn't. It really wasn't. It just, like, all crunched up, and, oh, it's horrendous. It just didn't like it at all. Okay. I'm going to go all the way around, just stitch this. Now, I'm stitching from the back. That's so that the vinyl is touching the non-slip foot and not the feed dogs, okay? Because if it was touching the feed dogs, you would have no purchase at all. It would just slide over the top. There we go, all the way around. Oh, I've gone a weeny bit wide there, but never mind. It won't matter. There we go. And once again, oh. Press the wrong button then. There we go. And all the way around. Okay. I'll just back stitch just a weeny bit. Okay. Don't put the iron on this now. Okay. It will just go like that and you know, all shrinkle up, and it's horrible. Okay. I've lock stitched so I can just snip those off like that. Okay, so now I've just top stitched all the way around, and I've got a piece of vinyl in there now. Okay, you then want to turn over the top edge of one of these. Okay, now I would pink and shear it. If you've got pink and shears, just because it's not a double turn, so just to stop any fraying, pink and shear one of the top short edges. Okay, and we're going to turn that over like that. So basically I'm using the edge of the vinyl as my turning line. Alright, very, very carefully just press that down, okay? Don't let the iron touch the vinyl. So just go on the fabric only, like that. So I've just turned a little hem over, and now we're going to top stitch that hem down. Okay, I'm going to leave the non-stick foot on, just because it does help a weeny bit, even though it's not really going to touch the vinyl, it does help. Okay, you could, I suppose you could make the square a weeny bit bigger if you wanted to do a double hem, but it doesn't really need it. Okay. Right, there we go. So I've top stitched across there now and just sealed that in. That's going to be the top of the pocket. Just whip off those threads. Anybody else having a chat there? What have you all been up to? Anything exciting?
Meg's just joined us.
Hi Meggie. Okay, so what we want to do now is line this up like that. Okay, so you're going to line it up. Oh, slightly wonky that one, never mind. Again, it's a luggage tag, it's not going to matter. Line it up there, so I've got my bottom raw edges together. So if I try and do it towards you, put my bottom raw edges together like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put my other piece right sides together over the top like that. Okay, sandwich it all together. Again, I like to use clips because of that vinyl. You don't want to pierce the vinyl in any way, so just clip it all in together, and then we're going to stitch pretty much all the way round. Come on. But we're going to leave a gap in the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to leave a gap between these two clips, okay, so that we can turn it through. Let's make sure this is all, make sure that pocket piece is still there. Nothing's moved. All right, so I'm going to start stitching here. I'm going to go all the way around. And you want, it's not 1/4 of an inch, you want to use edge of foot with this one, okay? You want it to be slightly bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So I want to pop my other foot back on, because I don't need the non-sticky one now. Anybody there having a chat? What's everyone up to?
Christine just asked, you spoke of this show this weekend. Is it a quilting festival of some sort?
Yeah, so I'm doing a Hochanda show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. There are quilting hours on Hochanda today and tomorrow, and I think on Wednesday as well, because Festival of Quilts didn't happen, although there is the Beyond Festival of Quilts website, which is fab actually. There's loads of quilts on there. You can do virtual workshops, you can go on and do shopping and stuff, so you know they've kind of done like a bit of a virtual show. But no, Hochanda are doing like a quilting event, so there's lots and lots of quilting stuff going on Hochanda over the next few days. We're up there at, have a look at the schedule, have a look at the TV schedule, but we're up there and we've got an hour tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Sandra said she's been making masks for her son. He's allowed to open his tattoo studio last week. Bought black fabric from you last week.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, you're doing some masks, so you said when you came in, which is fab. So, yeah, like I said, just use edge of foot rather than 1/4 of an inch. You need just a little bit extra on this one, okay? So I'm just going to take a couple of stitches and lock stitch just to stop that seam opening, and then come down to the corner, all the way round. Oh, come down. Yeah, that's me going a bit fast now. That's better. Sort my foot out. There we go. Just stopping and pivoting and following the edge of that shape all the way round.
Christina asked, is there a link? Thanks for the info.
For the Beyond Festival Quilts, yes, there's yes, Sian, if you're still there, lovely, could you post a link for the Beyond Festival thing, please? Because I imagine she'd have it to hand. If not, I will find it and post later. There we go, so all the way round. And down this side. Once you've done one of these, they're so mega quick. I think it's be nice as well when we are allowed to travel again. You know, if you're, I mind you saying that, even if you're on the train or on a coach or something, everyone has black suitcases and black rucksacks and stuff, don't they? So, you know, actually having a bit of colour, a bit of, you know, you'd spot it on a carousel easily. Okay, so I've left a gap at the bottom here. All right, you want to clip the corners. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that excess fabric on my corners like that. Okay, and that one there. Okay, and there. And then just a weeny bit into that one there as well. It just helps ease it. You don't have to cut a big notch, you can just cut little snips in it like that if you want, rather than cutting a notch. Entirely up to you. Okay, so we want to turn it through, but you want to make sure you turn it through in the right bit. So you want to look in there, because the first one I did, I turned through on the wrong piece, so I turned it through there, so it was, I could see the back of the vinyl, the back of the pocket. So you want to open it up and make sure, hang on, I can't get my fingers in there. Come on, why won't that open? There we go. Okay, make sure that you can see the top stitching, so you're seeing the front of the pocket, okay, and that on the back, because if you go through the other side, it's completely inside out. Okay, so this is, because it's the vinyl, it's a bit tricky. All right, so you're going to fight with it a little bit to get it going. Once it starts going, it actually goes through okay, but it is a bit tricky to do that first bit of pulling through, because the vinyl doesn't want to bend very well. Come on. So I'm going to fight with this for a second. Talk to me, ladies, while I fight with this.
Sean's just posted the links for you.
Ah, fab. Thanks, Sean. Okay, there we go. Nearly there. There we go. It suddenly goes. It's like, there we go. Okay. Right. You want to push out all your corners. All right. So very carefully get your scissors or your turny tool or whatever it is you like to use in there. Okay. Just very carefully push out corners like this. Okay. Get your scissors in there and just gently tease out, or your crochet hook or whatever it is you use for turning, tease out those corners. Okay, it is a bit creased at the moment, but it won't be in a moment once we've given it a press like that. And come on, out you go, like that. Okay, right, do you want to press this now, because you want to press in this seam. Don't press it from this side, because the iron will hit the vinyl. Press it from this side. All right, so let's turn in that little seam there like that and give it a good press. Okay, you can see that this goes really, really soft the minute any heat hits it, but you don't want to give it any direct heat. Okay, like that. And then you press it well. And I am just going to press this side away from the vinyl like that. Again, if you're careful, just press round without touching the vinyl. Okay, like that. We're gonna oh, hang on, I'll get rid of that in a second. We want to top stitch all the way round now, and what that does is close up that little little gap from where you've turned through. Okay, but before we do that, I want to show you how to make the strap. So you want, let me grab that vinyl out of the way, lovely. Depending on how long you want your strap to be, I made one at 14, I think that one was 14, and I made one at 12, okay, because I thought that was a bit long, but it totally depends. You could make shorter, bigger ones. You could just use some really nice ribbon, entirely up to you, but if you want to do it matching, you want to do it off this. These fabrics are so lush to work with. Guys, if you want really nice, cute animal fabrics, these are definitely ones to have a little look at. They are on the website, but they're just lush. They're really, really nice to work with. You want a 2-inch strip, okay, like that. I'm going to do 12-inch again because I think that's plenty, but you could do longer if you wanted, okay? If you've got bags that have got really chunky handles or something and you want it to be a bit bigger, that's absolutely fine. So I've got a 2-inch strip by 12-inch, okay? I'm going to just iron this. I'm going to iron it in half, just like we've done bag straps before, okay? We're going to iron it in half all the way down like that. Open it out, and then we're going to iron the sides into that centre crease. And boy, is this little ironing board getting hot. I can barely touch it. There we go, down that way and down this way. Like I said, ribbon would probably be quicker, but I like the fact it all matched if you've got a bit of time. There we go. And then you're going to fold them all in like that, all the way over, like that. And we're going to iron that all down, all the way down. Okay. You want to turn over, so you're just going to open it. Once you've done that, you can open it back out and just turn over the very top edge. Okay, you're going to do that both on both short edges, like that. Okay, and then fold it back in and repress, just to enclose those raw edges. Okay, if you don't want to do that, I didn't do it on the first one, so all I did was just pink and shear the top. Okay, but then on the second one I was like, actually it'd be nice if those raw edges were enclosed, so do that both ends. Anybody there? Any questions?
Carolyn said, "Hi Bo, I've been listening to you. I've just put a ginger and satsuma cake in the oven. It's my birthday tomorrow."
Ah, happy birthday, Carolyn, for tomorrow. Oh, we're not going to be, we haven't got a show tomorrow either, otherwise we could all have sang happy birthday to you. Well, mind you wouldn't want me to sing happy birthday to you. Oh, God, no. But happy birthday. I hope you have a lush day. Ginger and satsuma cake sounds amazing. That's like two of my favourite flavourings. Or anything with orangey sort of flavouring. Okay, we're now going to top stitch all the way round. Okay, so we're going to top stitch down, across the top, back up the side and down the little short side. Yeah, obviously because Sarah's on holiday and I'm travelling up to Hochanda tomorrow, there's no 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, frankly, I couldn't squeeze one in. Try as I might, I can't be in two places at once, even though I could quite do a clone of myself sometimes. So, but yes, so yeah, there's nothing tomorrow, but we'll be back on Wednesday with Block of the Week. And then because Sarah's on holiday, you've got me for the rest of the week as well. So I'm in Thursday and Friday. Oh, I hope you have a lovely day tomorrow, Carolyn. Are you doing anything nice? Have you got people coming over? A bit of social distance party? Or is it just a quiet one? So I'm just literally top stitching down both sides and along the two edges. Any other questions or anything there, groups?
No, everyone just says happy birthday to Carolyn.
Okay, like that. Oh, could probably do with one more stitch actually. There we go, that's better. Across the top like that. Sorry, I'm concentrating, aren't I? And then down we go that side. Okay, so just made a little strap. Again, rather than, buy new ribbon or anything. Oh, keep pressing the wrong button. I hit it's the wrong side. There we go, like that. Okay, we just need to get rid of those those little bits there. And we're nearly done. We're going to just snip that off there and there, and this is eventually going to go through here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little go. We've got time. We're going to have a little go at buttonhole. All right. Now I know Sarah showed you buttonholes the other day. You could absolutely do this with an eyelet. Okay, you could use do a little eyelet there and thread this through. But we've got these gadgets on our machine, so why not try them, eh? Why not give them a go? So, because it's not actually a button, it's just I'm just doing a what's the word? I just want a slit with all bound around the edges. I'm just going to move this out. So the little bit here that you normally sit a button on, okay, on the buttonhole foot, I'm just going to move that out so that it's about the same width as what I want the gap to be, which is about there. Okay, depending on what size you've made these. So we're going to attach this down onto my machine like that. Okay, you want to make sure that you bring this down, but it needs to be behind. Can you see these, Joe? I don't know if you can show them. Can you see these two pieces here, this one and this one? Okay, when you pull that down, if I pull that down now, can you see it's sat in front of this one? It needs to be, so just move this forward, sat behind this one so that it knows that that's the distance it's going. Okay, and then I'm going to go to, let's try number that one. So, 8. Oh. There we go. So I want it to be, if that's the start, I want it to be about there, don't I? Okay, so put the foot down. And then you're just going to let it do its thing. So, here we go, and we're off. And it kind of does it, it does it itself. It's programmed. Most machines nowadays are programmed to do it itself. If you've got a buttonholer on there. If you haven't got a buttonholer, you could just satin stitch round in a rectangle and then just cut through. Okay, so it's doing its thing at the moment. I could go a lot faster, but I'm just letting it go quite slowly-ish so you guys can hopefully see what it's doing. I'm really, I should say I'm not touching it. It's doing it itself. There we go. Okay, so you then need to open up this little gap here, okay, with the stitch ripper. Now, one of you ladies, I can't remember, I think it was Chris Gorin, put a little tip on, which I thought was a really good idea. It stops you pushing the seam ripper right the way through the stitches. So if you put a pin in like that, right at the very end, hopefully can you see, right at the very end of where I want to stop, it means the stitch ripper can't go past. It's going to hit that metal pin and it won't cut into your stitches. So I thought that was an amazing little tip the other day. So I want to slide the stitch, hang on Drew, sorry, I've just realised that iron's very close to your hand. So I'm going to slide the stitch ripper in there, like that, and just slowly push up, okay, all the way up to the top. But because that pin's there, I can't go any further. So I thought that was a brilliant little tip. I think it was Chris Gorin that put it on last week. I've now got a little bound gap, okay, which this can then go through. Like that, all right, like that. I haven't top stitched it because of time and everything, but I would, before I put this through, I would have top stitched all the way around to do that little gap, okay. And then all I did then was just...
It was Eileen.
Eileen, was it? Ah, brilliant. I knew somebody, well, I knew it was somebody, a regular. Couldn't remember who it was though. You would then just stitch across the top here, just 2 or 3 times, just to hold all that together. So I'm just going to, again, I'm going to pin it because of time. And I don't want to stitch that yet because I want to top stitch first, okay? And that's your little luggage tag done, all right? And all that does is just keep the band together so that you can put it through a... I haven't got anything to show you. Hang on, let me grab my handbag. 2 seconds. There we go. So we use my handbag. Okay, so you could then put it round a bag or your suitcase just with a little half hitch like that. All right, and it's done. You, like I said, you could make these smaller if you wanted to, if you know, or you could put a button or something on them. So rather than that, you could put a cam snap or a button on. So if you had a button there like that, it would just sit through like that, and you would just button up or cam snap it or popper it. Okay, well, you could have, and I should have showed you that actually before we got there, when we had them all sandwiched up, okay, when we had the pocket, that piece, the pocket piece, and that one right sides together, we could have put the strap in that top seam. So we could have put like raw edges together like that. Hang on, let me take this out. So we could have pinned it in like that, yeah, like that, and then you'd have put your top piece over and stitched all the way around, and then when you turned it through, that would have been in the seam. So if you don't want to do buttonholes, you could do it that way as well. Okay, that's it, I think, ladies. Any questions? Anybody's got any questions or anything there?
Jenny just asked, you could put a little bit of Velcro on top of the edge so the label doesn't come out by accident.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could put a little piece of Velcro there to there, or again, a little cam snap or something if you wanted to. I did see some actually that I quite liked that I might try and work the pattern out for. So they were, right, imagine this was one piece of fabric, okay? So you had like a base like that with the pocket just this side, and then they'd stitched down there. So this flipped over, and then the strap went through like both bits, so that people couldn't see your name and address, but if anybody wanted to see your name and address, you could do that and you could see it here, okay? Which I thought was quite a nice idea. You know, not for like kiddies' rucksacks and stuff. They want to be able to see, you know, Tom or whatever on there, so they can see it easily. But if you wanted to do them for travelling, yeah, they'd done that as their base. So that wasn't a pocket, it was just this side was a pocket. So it was exactly the same, except this was double side, you know, like longer. And then they stitched it all down. So they top stitched this down 3 layers, and then that meant that flipped up, and they had a much longer strap which kind of went through both bits, which was quite nice as well, I thought, because, you know, it means that nobody can see your address on your suitcase, but, you know, not if it was on a airport carousel or anything. So that's luggage tags, ladies. Lost the other one. It's gone. Oh, there it is. I love this parrot fabric. And I'm not a massive birdie person, but I really love that. I think it's gorgeous. Yeah, lovely. Any other questions or anything there?
No.
No?
Suzanne just said Tesco's have fricks on pens, 3 for £3.50. 3 for £3.30, sorry.
Tesco's did.
Yeah.
Fab. We can't beat that price. So yeah. Cool. Fabulous. Okay, I won't see you tomorrow. As I said, I'm going to be travelling, driving up to Hachanda. So I will see you all on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Please do tune in. Seeing as you haven't got me like this, maybe tune into Hachanda and watch at 2 o'clock if you're about and you're free. That would be lovely. It's nice to, you know, when I'm demoing, it's just nice to know that there's friendly people out there listening to me. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Take care, everybody, and see you soon. Bye.